Today's video is brought to you by seedsnow.com. Non-GMO, entirely natural. Please click the link below, support them, and support us. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching Green Wave TV, alternative media television. It's all about the guns. Guns, guns, guns. Whether or not this is Christopher Dorner, or the MK Ultra psychotropic CIA-provoked killers at Aurora, Colorado, or the cover-up and conspiracy at Sandy Hook so Obama can implement his 23 executive orders to confiscate weapons in the United States, trample the U.S. Constitution, our ability to defend ourselves from an authoritative, tyrannical government, or whether or not that be a foreign invasion from our enemies at North Korea or Al-Qaeda or any other terrorist organization, domestic or foreign. This is all about guns, which is exactly what the story is, the breaking story is about today. With the Blade Runner, and we saw this guy's got the really cool things on his feet, participated in the Olympic Games, he's got a very high-profile girlfriend, lives in a very high-profile area of South Africa. This is developing. Blade Runner's ominous home intruder tweet posted months before he shot girlfriend 4 times. Pistorius to spend night in police cells after being charged with model's murder. Paralympic superstar Oscar Pistorius tweeted how he went into full combat recon mode after mistaking his washing machine for an intruder less than 3 months before his girlfriend was shot dead in the middle of the night. Now, neighbors woke up at 4 a.m. hearing screaming and shouting, which makes this sound more like premeditation or non-premeditated murder and not like a mistaken person or home invasion or burglary. Again, this is all about the guns. Now, Pistorius believed to have told police he thought that his girlfriend was an intruder. Beautiful gal, beautiful woman, she's a supermodel. Riva Steenkamp, if I'm saying her name correctly, took multiple rounds to the face and chest. The media reporting it could have been a Valentine's Day surprise gone wrong. Talk about a horrible Valentine's Day. But again, this is all about the guns. We are being propagandized, whether or not it's this story with this Paralympic Olympian with the blade running legs accidentally or murdering his girlfriend, this supermodel by accident, doesn't matter. Or whether or not it's the Christopher Dorner scenario and the fact that Obama is now launching drones. They had drones looking for him all across the United States. They were locking our borders as far down as Tijuana. Although, don't you find it interesting that Christopher Dorner was on site in Big Bear and he went missing for a good portion of a week and they couldn't find him? Now notice that in a typical serial killer situation, and we have serial killers, we've had all kinds of them, even here locally in Arizona or in other places of the states, there's never a $1 million bounty on the head of these people. In fact, it takes years usually to find them after they've killed dozens of people, and then they give them a fair trial. But you notice how Christopher Dorner didn't get a trial? They just incinerate him. The LAPD is basically sending a message, don't F with us. Which begs the question, is this Tijuana? Is this Mexico? Is this The Sopranos, where they see you and they just start shooting at you? And that if someone says that you're a criminal and accuses you, like a witch hunt, remember how they used to do that? Like, oh, that's a witch over there. Let's tie her up in rocks and see if she drowns. That'll let us know if she's a witch. So we very much have a witch hunt now in the United States of America, constantly being propagandized about how guns kill people. Not people. That's what they'll say, even though it's people using the guns and using the instrument for violence that are actually doing the killing. Notice how Americans never say, and Obama isn't launching a war, there's thousands and thousands of people that die annually in car accidents, right? Driving a moving projectile, 60 to 100 miles per hour, that's pretty much the equivalent of a bullet, or it's a type of speeding bullet. Notice how Obama isn't launching a war against Ford. He isn't launching a war against General Motors or Chrysler. Hey, people are dying. Children are dying. So let's attack General Motors and let's attack these companies and make sure they can't produce cars anymore because people driving these cars are killing people. That's the equivalent for the argument that guns kill people. No, guns don't kill people. People kill people. And so the more stories that we get, and notice how we're being dripped via the mainstream media, not just gun stories that are, Sandy Hook, children are dying type propaganda situations, but also we're getting even pop culture, mainstream, almost celebrity Hollywood type gun propaganda, and we're getting it with this Pistorius story right now, having tragically shot his girlfriend. Whether or not it was an accident or it was premeditated or meditated or not really doesn't matter, because again, it's driving home the message that guns are dangerous. And as Obama likes to say, or at the very least allude to, the U.S. Constitution is an archaic document. Those founding fathers that gave us those protections, they were crackpots. Those guys were insane. And, these aren't things that we need anymore. Let's just trample on the Bill of Rights, habeas corpus, the right to a fair trial. And see, the America we live in today is the America with the National Defense Authorization Act in full effect. And that's what we saw on display a few days ago with Christopher Dorner. There is no trial anymore. There is no right to seek representation by an attorney or prove your innocence, innocent before guilty, in a court of law. They're just going to douse you with gas, and then they're going to incinerate you. And if you're accused as being the witch, which they can do to anyone that they want, political dissidents, opposition, people that they consider domestic or foreign terrorists, they're just going to light you up like the LAPD lit up a 70-year-old woman and her daughter, and just like they physically lit on fire Christopher Dorner. That's what the NDA looks like, in effect. So this is just a sneak peek. This is just an example of what's to come here in the USSA. And unless the people, and unless we, and unless you provide that check and a balance to an authoritative government, an authoritative regime, in this tyranny, you will find yourself at some point in the not too distant future as the target. And we have to ask ourselves, what is this? Is this Mexico? But that's almost giving the United States too much credit, because there's a good part of Mexico that actually is really safe. And I really, quite frankly, enjoy and like the Mexican people. This looks more like Hitler-style Nazi Germany pre-World War II. Again, Hitler passed the Enabling Act. He scapegoated the burning of the Reichstag on communists, just like President Bush and President Obama have scapegoated domestic terrorists, lone wolves, as the new enemy. Well, guess who the lone wolf is? You are. I'm Christopher Green. You've been watching Greenwave TV, alternative media television, hard-hitting and in your face. And if you like this video, please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and support our sponsor below. Peace.